Alright, everybody, so today we'll be going over a couple of my throws of the season, some good throws, some bad throws, and some cues that I'll hopefully be working on for the last couple meets of the season. So, this was my last indoor meet. I want to start with this throw and just talk about like what I'm feeling, what I'm kind of trying to do at each part of the throw, and hopefully this will help some of you guys, and hopefully it'll help me just by reflecting. So yeah, I'm gonna watch this a few times. I'll talk about the kind of start of the throw, middle of the throw, and end of the throw, what I really want to do, and the cues that are going on. So yeah, let's put this to full speed. So at the beginning of the throw, what I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to get my weight shifted. Let me change this color. I'm trying to get my weight shifted around this foot right here. As you can see, I don't do the best job of it. I try to initiate that weight shift using this left arm right here. But I'm still not quite getting over it. It's not too bad, but these hips right here are shifting a little into the middle, which is not ideal, but something that I can definitely continue working on doing. The reason why you want to do this is the more shift you have, the more you can like pull this right leg around in a balanced position, and the more just in general balance you have on this left foot, so that when you like land, you're landing over this foot right here. And oftentimes you'll see my throws, like I will land and then there'd be a couple frames where I'm shifting out that way. So that's just one thing that going more to the left here helps with. Now the next thing that I'm focusing on is whipping this like right leg around. A lot of people already do this, and they would honestly benefit from doing it less, but I typically go super linearly in my throws. I don't know if you can see, like in this throw, for example, there's not that much space in between my legs right here. So I need to focus on whipping that right leg. Like right here, whipping that and sort of like bringing this leg in, whereas it's landing, it's kind of being turned here, but I think I can hug it in closer to the camera and really get over my right leg. That will only help speed things up a lot, and I think it could also help my left leg get down a bit further here. So that's the main cue that I'm focusing on when I'm entering the middle. So let's slow this down a bit. So yeah, getting over that left leg and using that right leg to whip my whole like body, and create that speed. It's really necessary. Another thing that is super important to keep track of and think about here is this left arm. I know a lot of people like to bring this left arm like sort of towards the sector and hold it there, sort of getting a wrap. I am not a fan of that. I think it should be sort of aligned with your shoulders here should sort of be in the same line right here, basically the whole entire time until power. And then when you land in power, you want your shoulders to be back and your left arm to kind of go out. And that's what creates that like speed and whip. And if you notice, like my right arm, when I release the shot, it just flies. Like I think that's, just notice my like right arm right here. It just shoots out of my hand. And I think that has to do with getting a good like separation here. Like my left arm, what I'm thinking about here is just, it needs to go. And keeping my shoulders back as it does it, because eventually this left arm will just rip my shoulders open and all the power will go through the shot put. So it's kind of what I'm thinking out there. But a lot of that at the front has to be set up perfectly with the timing of the left arm here. If it's too far open, like, I don't know, some people like to have this left arm kind of facing the camera here. I think that's a little too much. I think the timing of it has to really sync up with your right leg. So you want to keep, I think I can continue to, my left arm could be a little closer to the camera, as in like facing you guys, but I need to time it with my like right leg. So as my right leg hugs in, my left arm can open up a little bit more. And I never want to hold that wrap, because if I'm holding that wrap, that's just gonna cause me to shift out towards like the left sector line, and I'll be super out of balance. I don't know if I have any videos of me actually doing that. Let's close this. That was all right. Yeah, let's see. So let's go back to this throw. Yeah, so it's important to keep that left arm, have that good left arm timing. I think it could be a little bit more open towards the camera. There are a couple frames here. If you notice, like two frames, 2 or 3 frames, maybe 4, that like it doesn't keep opening up, which I'm not a fan of. And I'm also not a fan of it dropping right here. I'd kind of like it to be more level with my shoulders. That way, I think if your shoulders are level here and you're looking at the camera here, your left leg will get down faster. If it's down here, the fact that my arm is down right here, I think slows down my left leg a little bit. So if you raise it up a little bit, your left leg's gonna come down faster. And the faster it comes down, obviously, the more you can push and explode, because you can't push off of just one leg. You want to be pushing off of both legs, and you want to be blocking, right? Like the faster this left leg comes down, the faster it can block and like fully extend here. See how it's fully extended here? I think I get that a couple frames faster as well. That's only going to increase the speed. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking about. Let's do see the left arm kind of helping me get my hips out, as well as like just spending a little bit more time on my left foot. A lot of people like to push off this left foot. I'm not a fan of that. I like for it to just kind of, rather than pushing off the left foot, like and driving this left foot that way, I like to think of it as like you're pulling it off, like so that it snaps more in the middle. Because if you're pushing, that means you're spending more time with it on the ground. Whereas if you're pulling it off, you can like pull off early. And I think that helps a lot with the left leg speed. Because the more you spend time pushing off, and some people like to extend their knees and like fully push off, I think that just slows down your left leg from hitting the ground here. So I'm not a fan of that. But yeah, a couple cues that I like to do is like connect this like pull with the left leg with the this like the whip of the right leg. That's kind of what I consider like getting my hips really tight, is if this left leg pulls really tight and fast and I time it super well with the right, you get like this super nice hip flip, which creates so much speed in the middle and translates to a lot of speed in the end. I haven't really gotten a complete. I haven't felt this complete in a meet before, but that's kind of the feeling that I'm trying to get, is pulling that left leg and whipping that right leg at the same time. And that's kind of what I sort of call the hip flip. So that these hips right here flip really fast into the middle. You can see like right here, they just flip. And I think they can be even faster if I sync up that right leg whipping into the middle with that left leg pulling off the ground and racing towards a block. Combined, obviously, with good timing on the left arm. Right? If my left arm is opening up too early or it's not opening up enough, that's going to really hinder my hips to flip in the middle. So like right here, if it's so-called wrapping and I'm holding it back towards the left sector, my hips aren't going to flip as much, and I'm not going to create enough speed. So super important to keep all these things in mind. Obviously you can't think of all these cues in the same throw, but you work on them individually at practice, and then sometimes you'll get 1 out of 5, sometimes you get 2 out of 5, and then hopefully at a meet you'll be able to connect all 5 of them, or however many there are. So that's kind of the entry that I've been feeling. Cues I've been going into the middle, over here, and then the finish, which so what I'm trying to focus on in the finish is using this hip flip, but continuing it on to the finish. So oftentimes my hips will, for example, on these bad throws, so mid throw, bad throw. These bad throws, I'm sort of nervous. Like I'm falling back a little here. My hips aren't kind of attacking the center. Let's go back to this. So yeah, I want my hips to really flip in the middle and then punch through the sector. So this is I did a decent job here of flipping my hips and continuing that flip at the end. Right here, I'm attacking with the hips. And the reason that I can attack with the hips and not fall out of the sector, scratch, is because this left leg is my block. It's supposed to stop all the energy of the throw and translate it into the shot put. So it's important to have a really strong and sturdy left leg. As you can see, my entire left leg, my left arm stops for a couple frames here, and that signifies that I'm trying to get all the energy is going through the shot put, right? Like it has to go somewhere, so it's just exiting through my arm. And the more you can stop your left arm here facing the sector, the more the energy will go through the shot. And I think it does pull away. It does a pretty good job here, actually, of not falling early. I think I can have an even tighter like block and even bend my left arm a little bit and bring it closer to me. I think that'll create a little bit more speed also. But this finish is okay. I wish that my head would be not looking this way and would be looking towards the shot. That way I can get my chest and my left arm would be a little more facing the sector. So if I could combine that with, good weight shift here, good left arm positioning, tight flips, tight hips here, using that hip flip and popping it through the finish and then keeping my eyes on the shot just a little bit longer, that would be an ideal throw. And I have some videos of certain parts of this. For example, let's go to a practice throw. Maybe this one would be good. Right here. So this one was a non-reverse that was 3 feet further than the one you just saw. Watch it a couple times. See how fast my left arm, my right arm specifically at the finish is? Like I try to stop all my momentum and it just goes through my right arm and it absolutely snaps the shot put. There are a couple things that I don't like about this throw. I think one thing you can notice is I'm falling out quite a bit and I'm a little bit unbalanced in the center. See, I'm even falling a little bit here, falling towards the left sector a little bit here, falling. And I'm not that balanced, but and my hips are just like, they're falling a little bit here, which is surprising given how far it went. I didn't even get shifted here, but I think the reason that this went so far is because my hips in the center, and look how tight my left leg is to my body here. That speed in the center and a slightly hard block, I think I did an okay job. Not even really. But yeah, I think this just goes to show that how fast my right leg was and my left leg in the center just makes you throw miles further. And that's, if I can combine that with a good finish and not being off balance and hitting this block a little earlier, getting a little more shifted here. My left arm also was, I think it was good here as well. So I had 2 out of the 5 components that I've been working on. Had this good left arm. It's opening up here, which is good. It's not being stopped for a couple frames. And then my right leg and my left leg are working pretty good together, getting into the middle. And then if I can combine those two things with, hard left block, I'm balanced out in front. So if I'm balanced out here, see how I'm shifting towards the ring, towards the sector. If I'm not doing that, then I won't be shifting here. So, and then if I'm not shifting here, I can really get a good block on my left leg. It's even bent after I release it, which means I have more energy to give the shot put. And this is a non-reverse as well, so yeah, some good things could be potentially happening. Just got to get all of them in a throw. Maybe we can compare, for example, with one of my other throws. Full load. Okay. Let's compare it with the throw that we were just watching. Sync this up for when the left leg gets off the ground there, or sorry, right leg gets off the ground. And then the right leg gets off the ground right there. I'll link these bad boys together. Let's just kind of watch these a couple times. See if we notice anything. First thing I want to look at is which side is faster. So here, see where my right leg lands. So my right leg lands about the same time. I would even say at the non-reverse on the practice throw, it's a little faster, which makes sense because that's what I was feeling that day. And it looks like I'm really like loading up this right leg here in my non-reverse. Whereas on the top, I'm opening up already. So here, you can see my shoulders are all the way back here. And my shoulders are already opening up here. And I have a little more separation actually at the bottom. By separation, I mean this left arm is not as open. It's not opening with my shoulders. So right here, the left arm's open, but my shoulders are also open. At the bottom, my left arm is not fully open. And then even though I'm a little slower here on the bottom, the speed, the explosion is faster, and I release it at almost the same exact frame. So, and that's really all that matters, is how fast that releases. But overall, these are pretty similar throws, I would say. So, yeah, something slight as well. You can see I'm way more back here on the bottom, but I think I have a better block at the top. So if I can just combine sort of these two throws together, I think we'll be throwing a lot farther. But yeah, I guess I'm going to wrap that up here. Hopefully that was helpful to you guys. It's always good to watch throws and sort of visualize kind of the cues that you're thinking about over the week, and hopefully the mental preparation will amount to something physical. Obviously you need to practice as well. I'm just looking at here, my right arm is much faster at the bottom. Sort of similar, but anyways, yeah, hopefully that was helpful, and see you guys again.